Hi again, everyone, and welcome in to Cincinnati Bengals Talk. I'm James Rapien of allbengals.com, giving you the latest information on your Cincinnati Bengals each and every day right here on CBT. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, and tell a Bengals fan today about CBT as we continue to grow. Over 23,000 Bengals fans subscribing now to CBT. And let's dive into a ton of injury news, starting with Ja'Marr Chase. Ja'Marr Chase was limited for a second straight day with a hip injury. He did not talk to the media, but was participating in practice. I walked out near Chase as he was walking out towards the practice field alongside T. Higgins. Everything seems fine. I think he's a little just nicked up from the game, and it's a good sign that he was limited back-to-back days. It just means he might be a little sore from last Sunday's win over the Saints, which when you put the team on your back with 2:10 left and run for 60 yards, well, your hips might be a little sore. Speaking of T. Higgins, good news on T. He was a full participant on Thursday, which means he's well on track to play again, despite dealing with that ankle sprain, and really good sign that he's a full participant too in a Thursday session that is really the most intense, longest session of practice during a normal game week. Alex Cappa, unfortunately, did not practice today due to an illness. We'll see. We didn't see him in the locker room, didn't see him out on the practice field, so that's what the Bengals official injury report said. And, you know, sticking with the offensive line, La'el Collins returned to practice today. There's a must-watch interview with him right here on Cincinnati Bengals Talk, so make sure you check that out. I'm going to give you some thoughts on him in just a second. But looking at this injury report, nothing too surprising outside of Alex Cappa and Stanley Morgan. Stanley Morgan did not participate in Thursday's practice with a hamstring issue, so we'll see with him. And we'll see with Cappa. This could be one of those things where he was feeling under the weather. They told him to stay away, get better. The weather's changing in Cincinnati. Heck, it's going to be 70-plus degrees on Sunday. Last I looked for the game against the Falcons, and it's been cold, cold, cold in recent days. So not a shocker there. Logan Wilson, and by the way, today's injury report brought to you by Rivertown Inquiry and rivertowninquiry.com. Doug and his crew do an awesome job. You got to go to rivertowninquiry.com and check out all of the different awesome shirts they have, hoodies they have, white tiger apparel. You want some orange and black gear, they're going to have that for you all in one spot. And you can check them out if you're going to the game on Sunday just by going to Oakley, 10 minutes from downtown. So check it out right now, Madison Avenue, or at rivertowninquiry.com. And just looking at this injury report, obviously Logan Wilson is the one that we've known about and we've been monitoring. And I watched him pretty closely on Thursday, and he was running, doing sprints, agility work, and all of those things. Obviously, it's a right shoulder injury. But the thing that really was interesting is he was sprinting, and this is a normal drill, but it's interesting because he's dealing with the shoulder. He was sprinting, arms completely extended, and catching passes. And that's something you're doing. You're sprinting and you catch a pass on the run, and that's something defensive backs do and linebackers do and defensive players do. You're working on what? Your ball skills and making sure that you can get those interceptions when they come. And obviously Logan Wilson's good at that. But when you're fully extended and a ball's being thrown, that means your shoulder has to be able to take some of that torque. So is he able to wrap up? Is he going to be able to do that stuff? I'm not sure. But I think he's closer than I would have guessed, you know, on Monday when reports are coming out, or on Sunday when he went down. That doesn't mean he's going to play this week against the Falcons, but I still wouldn't rule him out yet, especially with what we saw from Jonah Williams last week. So this team dealing with some issues. Marcus Bailey was a full participant after being limited on Wednesday, so that's a good sign. They're dealing with some issues, no doubt about it. At the same time, none of them seem too major, and we'll see. But I told you I was going to talk about LC and La'el Collins and what he said. And man, oh man, he had plenty to say about Cam Hayward, or about, Cam Jordan. And, the Saints star defensive end was someone that, going into that matchup, you're like, all right, you got to account for Cam Jordan. Well, Jordan finished with 3 tackles, no sacks, no tackles for loss. And La'el Collins, well, he kept it real. How do you think you played on Sunday against Cam Jordan? I mean, obviously that's a tough matchup going in. You know that. How do you think you did?
I mean, I think it was a tougher matchup for him, versus me. I mean, if you watch the tape, every time I played him, I beat his ass up. And that's just the bottom line. And it's going to be like that anytime I play him.
The bodyguard pulling no punches, right? Just being 100% honest about his thoughts on Cam Jordan. Look, I like it because I like the attitude behind it. And look, he did win his fair share of reps, and it looked like the Lel Collins that the Bengals were hoping they would get when they signed him in March, and people were chasing him all over Kenwood Town Center. So we'll see. But now he's flashing it, and LC looks like he's getting into a groove. And if he can get into a groove and this offensive line can continue to push forward, Alex Cappa's been great in recent weeks. Ted Karras has certainly settled in. And it just seems like this offensive line is starting to gel. You want that to continue. And you want that to continue this week against a Falcons unit that overall, they don't have a star edge player necessarily. They have some good ones, but they don't have a star edge player. But they do have a guy in Grady Jarrett who can really make it tough on your interior. And so Cordell Volson, Alex Cappa, they're going to have to be on their P's and Q's alongside Ted Karras. Assuming Cappa can play, we'll have more on him on Friday when I get to touch base with coaches and get back in the facility. So we're going to have more right here on Cincinnati Bengals Talk, which is why you need to subscribe, which is why you need to ring the bell. It's why, well, if this is still Thursday, even if it's after Thursday night, 8 o'clock, the OT with Elise Jesse, Mo Egger's on the show, Jermaine Pratt's on the show. Obviously, it's relevant why with Logan Wilson nicked up, Jermaine Pratt could be on the headset. That's a big deal. Going to face a run-first offense in the Falcons, and then Mo Egger of Cincinnati's ESPN 1530. So it's a big show on Thursday night. If you missed it, and it's already Friday when you're watching this, that's fine. Check out the OT anyway, because it's still going to be relevant. Hit that subscribe button, ring the bell. And for Andrew Fox Miller, I'm James Rapien, signing off for now on CBT, Cincinnati Bengals Talk.